All right, first I thought I'd show you the Softy slash LPS frag tank. This started off as basically a Zoa tank and it just sort of morphed into something else. This is just a Rubbermaid stock container for cattle, something that you would water your cattle with on a farm or something. I think I got it for about 80 bucks at Tractor Supply. And I just added this little overflow box here. I think I got that off of Amazon. And it's a side exit. It comes out here. And it goes down to a 55-gallon aquarium, which acts as the sump. And I don't have any baffles or anything in there. But that's where I house all the equipment for it. And also the live rock. I have live rock in there too for the filtration. The coral in here, like I said, it started off pretty Zoa heavy, and it still is. Let's see if I can zoom in here for you. It's just a lot of my collection I've had over the years. I've had different ones. I don't really do real high-end stuff because just like anybody else, they melt on me too. So I may try them again when prices come down on things, but I'm not into what they call the high-end stuff, the expensive stuff. Because usually it's the stuff that doesn't grow well. Yeah, in my experience anyway, there are exceptions. So I just like to grow the stuff that's colorful and that grows well for other hobbyists too. And you can see I got a lot of Fruit Loops there. My original colony of Fruit Loops I got about 4 or 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I think. And I remember I paid like $10 a polyp for them, and I got like a little eight polyp frag. And of course, I don't charge that now for them, but as you can see, they're good growers for me now. There's Nemo, who likes to bite my fingers, and there's the newest addition to the tank, this fox face here. I got this fox face because I was having a problem with Valona algae, which is bubble algae. And this guy has done a really good job. I've had him in here for 2 weeks, and I haven't noticed much bubble algae in here at all. I mean, I can zoom in here for you, and you're not going to see any bubble algae on these frags. I like to have clean frags. I don't want any critters or algae or anything like that. I don't sell online, and I don't ship. I just sell locally, basically at one frag swap. But I can't do this full time because I have a full-time job. So this is just sort of a side business, if you will, sort of like a dream that I wish I could do full time. But for now, it serves its purpose, and I get to share cola with other people. Yeah, that guy does a really good job on the algae. And over here, I have some LPS I just put in here a couple weeks ago. And there's a cool Sunkissed bounce that I got a few years ago. That's one of the splits. It's actually split a bunch of times, as you can see here. And that's a cool shroom. And I forgot the name of this orange one, but that's another cool one. I got that from a buddy. And as you can see, the LPS are doing good. I just started dosing Alpha Reef in this tank about a month ago. And I think it's really helped the coral out a lot as far as coloration and growth. I really noticed a difference in the color of the coral. They're a lot brighter. Before they were more muted. Like this one over here is one of my newer ones, and it's still kind of muted. It hasn't been in here as long as the other ones. That one right there in the center of the screen. So it'll be cool to see what that does. After another month or two, and letting it color up, and then I'll see what happens. But as you can see, all the other Zoas are nice and vibrant, and those magicians are cool too. Every tank should have some magicians in it. I got some more right there that I'm growing out, but I like magicians too. But I really think that Alpha Reef is doing a good job as far as coloring things up. And there's some green Neptia there. That came from my tank upstairs, the 36-gallon bow front. And I have a lot more in the frag, so I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do with it. Those are just huge branches that I lopped off. And they attached after a couple months, so now they are attached to tiles. So they're ready to be shared. I just got to figure out how to do that. Looks like I said, I don't sell mine or anything. Nemo's just chilling. Those are Nemo's zoas right there. And he likes to hang out with this Space Invader Pectinia too. But yeah, these coral are doing real good. That's detritus in there I gotta clean out. This thing grew like in a cup shape. That's a Hollywood Stunner chalice. And it cupped up so it just collects all the detritus and stuff. So I gotta blow that out with the turkey baster. But yeah, this tank's doing really good. It's just a little tricky getting the flow going. I do have a wave maker there. And over here, they're just Jabo wave makers. And then I got a dual return up here. And it's just a little tricky with the flow because it's round. You know, there's hardly any flat surfaces on here. I mean, I got a little bit right here, but it's mostly round, or it's, you know, it's got an odd shape to it. It's hard to get things on it to move the flow around, but I think I got it figured out pretty good. So there is the Softy and LPS frag tank, and it just goes to show you don't have to buy a real expensive aquarium. You can just get something real simple and cheap like this and give it a go if you want. I just made a little cheap stand. I mean, nothing fancy, just to hold it up, and it's pretty good height too, for me to, you know, access the frags and stuff. So, you know, if you're looking to build a tank, you just think outside the box a little bit, and this might be an option for you too. All right, here's my other frag tank. This one I think is a 90-gallon aquarium that was cut in half. I believe it was made before they had like the 60-gallon low boys and stuff that they have now. But this is a pretty neat tank. And I have custom frag racks in it. I can't remember where I got them made, but I'll put a link in the description once I look it up. Those are actually 3D printed, and they're pretty big too. That rabbit fish is cool. I got this rabbit fish in here for the same reason as I had the fox face in the other tank, was because I had Valona in this tank, bubble algae, and same thing, this guy took care of it all. I don't see any bubble algae in this tank whatsoever. So he did a really good job. And there's some of the frags in there. This one is SPS heavy. It's eventually going to be all SPS. I really like acros. I used to have a smaller frag tank about half this size, and it was full of acro frags. And slowly but surely, all of them except for a couple of them STN'd on me, and it was devastating for a couple of years, and I didn't even want to really look at acros, to be honest with you, but I'm just now getting back into it thanks to battle corals and cherry corals. Them guys are cool. You know, they actually I talked to the guys and stuff, and ordered a couple boxes from battle corals, and I got some coral from cherry corals, and I'm happy with the selections that I have here. This one in particular right here in the front, if I can zoom in on that, that is one of the ones from the Millie box from battle corals, and this fish here really wants to be in the frame. Those are some of the blue light tenuous. And I have the whites on right now. As you can see, these coral are still colorful with the white lights on. And then there's another Meliapora there. There's a couple in the back there as well. Some of those are from cherry coral in the back there. So it's just really coming together as far as my acro collection. I've had some from the 75-gallon SPS tank make it, and they're in here as well. There's some right there. I don't know exactly what they are. I just got this one right here from a buddy, and this is going to be something special here. He just lopped off a branch for me, and on the top of it, it was just a whole bunch of different colors, almost like a rainbow acro. This was sort of the bottom part, so it was in the shade, but I can't wait to see what this looks like once it's all colored up. Moving on over here, I have some more Acropora and some more bird's nest. And here's some Favia down here. I just left these in here because they're pretty happy in their spot here, and I really don't have room in the other tank yet for them because they're on tiles. So I'll just leave those in here for now. And then this elegance over here is awesome. That's where Nemo Jr. likes to hang out, right there. And those tentacles on the polyps actually sting pretty good. Like when I touch them, it feels almost like I'm sticking my hand in an electrical socket. That's just how much it stings my hand. So it's a really, really healthy coral. As you can see, that clownfish really likes it. That's a cool shot there. And then behind the elegance back there is the cherry corals 21 tails torch. It's not flowing in the breeze right now because it flows off, but that's a really cool coral too. That's one of their, I think it's one of their signature corals, and it's a really, really nice coral. And then I got some more Favia back there, and then there's some digitata that I'm going to color up that came out of the SBS tank. And it's got some various other ones back there that I haven't really moved into the other tank yet, but things are going pretty good in this tank too. And here's another cool Favia. Not sure what species it is, but that's a cool coral too. That thing's really colored up. All right, so for the sump on this tank, it's just a 20-gallon aquarium. It does have one little divider there, and I have that just to keep the level up for the skimmer. So that level is always going to stay there. And just a Jabo return pump. And this is on the Neptune Apex Trident and Dose, just because I do dose 2-part in this tank, because there's SPS in here, and I do that to keep the alkalinity stable. So that helps me monitor and dose the 2-part. If you notice though, it is a separate sump from my other tank. There's a 20-gallon and there's a 55-gallon. That's because I like to have separate systems with my tanks. So that way if I have an issue, it won't occur in both tanks. However, it is easier to just tie in a frag tank to your main system. So that's what I think most people do. And that's always a good option as well. And that way, you know what your chemistry is, it'll stay the same. It's just the only difference you might see is if you have some nitrates and phosphates in your main tank, you may see more algae in your frag tank because it's a smaller area and it may have more light. And the lighting for this tank is 2 Kessel A360X lights on a 4-foot Reef Bright XHO fixture. I liked it so much on my 75-gallon SBS tank that I decided to put it on here, and it really helps fill in the shading on this tank too. I may add another 2 lights as I add more SPS in here. I'm probably going to get one for this side anyway, just as you see there's a lot already in there. And then eventually I'll add one over here too. So here's another example of a different way to do a frag tank. Another thing I didn't show you was the drains on this. I don't have an overflow box. I just got these little drain things here. And as you can see, they're going a little 45 on each side. They go right down to the sump. And I got a little sock down there. So that's just another way that you can do your drain system without having to do an overflow if you don't want to. And for flow in this tank, I had 2 Jabo gyres. There's one there. And I got one under the rack here. That way it keeps all the detritus that builds up underneath the racks from building up. Actually, it just blows it all out. And it keeps the tank cleaner, I think. And those work pretty good. I got some pretty good flow in here. I actually have them turned down a little bit. And I'll also be fragging a lot of this in here, especially this Matsupora here and this Pavona, and I'll be putting them in the SPS frag tank as well. So that's why I was making some room. These grow out a lot and I don't have anywhere to put them, so that's another reason why I have a frag tank. I don't really have one to make money. I have one just because I don't want to discard the coral because they're living animals. So they keep growing and I keep finding a place to put them. And it works out pretty good. Well, that'll do it for this video. I'm Reefer Matt. Thank you for watching. and happy reefing.